Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Now it's that time of year where we get a new hero, and this time it is going to be for the Juren faction, and I believe it's called Juren. It's either Juren or Juren. It's going to be one of those. Normally my pronunciation doesn't always go to plan, but until I hear it fully, then I'll go with one of those. But let's take a look at the trailer and then let's get on with the speculation and discussion.
Leaders, you are all the same. You think you are in control, but I cannot be contained. I will stomp on your crowns, lay waste to your empires, and smile over the chaos.
So there we have it. That is the official trailer. The first time we have seen the new hero from Ubisoft, and he looks pretty damn menacing, pretty ominous, pretty dark looking. Some people think that he's going to be some sort of villain, a bit like Warmonger kind of was. So yeah, definitely the darker of the Juren characters that we have so far and that we're going to get. Now he looks quite a big character, so it makes me think he's either going to be a heavy hero or a hybrid. But then again, it could potentially be like a Vanguard, so we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, if I had to guess, I'd say he's most likely going to be a hybrid or a heavy. And of course, then that brings us into the mechanics. Now, normally with heavy characters, that means they get some sort of full block stance, a bit like Warlord, plus a lot of hyper armor and crushing counters and that sort of stuff. But there is also a possibility of a more unique thing, which is a stance change. So he might be the first to have three, you never know. Potentially he won't have a full block because of his weapon. I mean, it's a two-handed weapon, so I don't really see how you'd use that as a full block. So it makes me think it's more likely to be a stance change character. But then again, we are often surprised sometimes by new characters and new abilities that we haven't seen before. That's what Ubisoft tries to go for. We had it with Virtuosa, with her stance, which automatically dodges everything. A lot of people don't like that, or they do like that, who knows. And then we had Magi, who had the double stance change, and then we had some other characters as well, like the insta-hit kill from the recent samurai, who I forget the name of Sohei, that's the one. So we might be completely pleasantly surprised by something completely new and completely different, which no one saw before. Now, doing a little bit of research online and seeing what other people have said about this initial reveal, it's widely regarded that this character is based off of a historical figure in Chinese military history known as Lu Bo. It's either Lu Bo or Lu Bu. I think it's Lu Bo. But anyway, he was around in sort of like the 2nd century. I think he died in year 199. But he was a military general, politician and warlord, and he lived during the late sort of Eastern Han dynasty of Imperial China, apparently. So yeah, he was a strong, really fierce, widely renowned warrior. Yeah, I'm sure you can look a bit more at that online. However, it is mentioned that he normally goes into battle on his horse, and is seen regularly fighting on it. A nickname that he was given was the Flying General, and the name of his powerful steed is apparently called the Red Hare. Now that is interesting because we haven't actually had like a mounted hero before, so going back to what I was saying about something unique about this new hero, potentially, now this is a massive potential, obviously I do not know anything currently about this new hero, I don't know facts, this is why this is pure speculation, but potentially we could be seeing a hero use some sort of second, well, it's not really a character, but it's going to be a steed, so it's going to be an animal, obviously, so whether it's in his moveset or not, I'm not sure. However, when it comes to feats, normally I guess the developers are a bit more easy with using feats that are perhaps not as realistic. So like with Gyoshin, his Mugen Huyu, I think, is like these traps that basically come out of the ground. Obviously that's not realistic, but we might be seeing some sort of steed come into the game. It could be like some sort of power boost where he rides on it and then rides over the battlefield. That might be a bit extreme, who knows, or he might use it to like attack a character from off screen or something, and just kind of suddenly like spawns in, attacks the character, then spawns out, a bit like some sort of projectile. That might be an easy way of doing it, but yeah, it's just something to think about. Considering it's such a big part of this character, I'd be surprised if it was just not even mentioned or not used somewhere in his moveset or character. Now the weapon that he has is a halberd, and that's a two-handed weapon, a long weapon, so potentially we'll be seeing some big hitboxes, so he could be a good anti-ganker for that reason, which obviously means that he's going to be stronger in 2v2 or 4v4 scenarios. But of course, you know, he might have some abilities in duels, which we obviously are unaware of at this time, with a weapon that is wielded with two hands. Normally that means that they're going to get some unblockables and things, a bit like Zhang Zhong. He has a lot of unblockables. He's got a dual wielded weapon who looks very similar to this one, to be honest, and he's also in the same faction. I'm sure it won't be a copy of that, basically, because otherwise that would be a bit silly. But yeah, potentially get some unblockables. He might have a bash, he might not. I mean, he's a big character. He might kick him, might punch him, a bit like Centurion. So that's always an option for opening up heroes. I think most heroes nowadays have at least some sort of bash, because yeah, they want to give every character at least that tool just to open people up nowadays if they're really good at blocking, etc., to make it less of a reaction game, more of a read-based game. Now in terms of the look of the character, obviously he looks pretty damn awesome. Cape is confirmed as per the trailer. He also has some sort of plume on his head, some sort of headdress. So whether that's going to be the ornament or that will be his headgear is up for speculation, of course. Potentially we'll get some helmets, a bit like with Griffin. He obviously, in his default, he has a completely open head, but then when it comes to his other customizations, he has a helmet, so potentially we will get some helmets for him. I think the helmets might look even better, to be honest. He might look better masked. His ornament location is potentially going to be on the shoulders, is what I've heard. So if it's not on the head, it's going to be the shoulders. So that's what I'd put my money on for that as well. But overall, he's fully armoured. We might get some variations, a bit like Kyoshin, where he might be like shirtless or something. So that's always an option for those who want to do something a bit different. As a fun fact, interestingly, the last time we had a Wulin hero released into the game was Zhanhu, and that was the release for Year 3, Season 4, and that was on the 7th of November 2019, so, you know, a long time ago now, like literally 5-6 years ago. We're now in 2026, of course, so yeah, Wulin fans will be very happy that they finally got a new hero. Literally the entirety of all the Outlanders that have been released since then, so we've had a new faction and multiple of them, as well as, of course, a fair few other heroes since then, so that is an interesting fun fact. And of course, as I said, Wulin people, Wulin fans will be very happy to get another addition to their roster. Now, of course, this trailer is just an initial tease, just showing you the look of the character. We don't know the mechanics just yet, hence why we're speculating. However, we won't have to wait long. We'll have the Warriors Den in a couple of days, and then the hero will be released a week later. So yeah, we'll get him before the end of January, which will be very, very nice. So you can normally buy new characters for about 15,000 steel, I think. Or you can buy them with real money. Normally it's like $10, £10 or something like that. So yeah, a nice little addition for yourself, and for those who are completionists and want to rep up the characters to the max, then you've got a whole 80 reputations to go now. Well, actually no, it's 90 now, isn't it? Yeah, 90 reputations, and it's probably likely going to be increased to 100 at some point. So yeah, you've got a long way to go to rep this character up. Obviously, as a foreigner YouTuber and creator, we are going to be buying the character when it comes out, and we're going to be playing it for you guys and showing off the moveset. Normally we'll make a guide on release as well, just to give everyone a rundown of his basic moveset, his advanced moveset, and then some tips and tricks that I've picked up through playing him for the first time, so do check that out. I normally try and make it as concise and succinct and easy to follow as possible, so that anyone of any level can quickly view that and understand how to do reasonably well with the character straight away. Normally I make them about half an hour, so you know, it's a good video to sit down and have a cup of tea or have a meal or something, you know, one of those kind of vids, as I think, to be honest, most of my vids are. But there you go, that's just the way it works. I do the same thing. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you've enjoyed this discussion, and of course the only thing left to do is to leave your comments and opinions below in the comments, whether you agree, disagree, or think whatever you think, or you want to ask me something else or talk about whatever. Please do that. So leave a like as always if you enjoy the video, and subscribe if you want to see more. Hope you have an amazing rest of the day.